Purple Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
And welcome to this Trenches edition, a film breakdown edition of Purple Daily here with our guy, Alex Boone, the Rhino, who we'll bring in just a second. But a shout out to AG1 for powering this particular episode, just like AG1 powers top athletes all over the world. AG1 is a simple and comprehensive foundational nutrition supplement for whole body health. Taking care of your health shouldn't be complicated. Getting the right nutrients, multivitamins, supplements, it shouldn't take you, 10 different pill bottles and having to eat kale smoothies for every meal. AG1 comes in here and fills gaps. Each scoop of AG1 contains whole food sourced ingredients that support gut health, focus, immune health, and more. I've been using AG1 for about 8 years now. If you want to take ownership of your health, it starts with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs, just like these, with your first purchase. That's drinkag1.com/purple daily, drinkag1.com/purple daily. And a shout out to Nicolay Law also for helping keep this a daily Viking show here on Purple Daily, the exclusive personal injury law firm of Purple Daily. Nicolay Law knows that when you or a loved one gets injured, ordinary life might come to a stop. Things get complicated. That's where Russell Nicolay and his team come in to help make sure you and your family get the compensation you deserve after an accident. So if you've been injured, get Minnesota's local award-winning injury lawyers. Get Nicolay, nicolaylaw.com or 1-855-NICOLAY. 10-plus years in the NFL trenches. Spent some time with the Minnesota Vikings. He is the Rhino.
Let's go.
LFG.
Dude, I didn't think you were going to stop. I thought you were going to keep going and just going and start talking about the grocery store and stuff. Listen.
I got 8 more lined up if you want. Very exciting times.
Getting more spots ready to roll. Hey, it happened. You guys survived. You survived the revenge game. I just want to congratulate you, Mackey. Probably wasn't easy, too.
It was 9 months in the making. Mm-hmm. It was 21-21 going into the fourth quarter. Classic Kirk quote, by the way. This is the last time I'm going to rip Kirk Cousins, I promise.
That's a lie.
Probably lying about that. But he was at the podium after the game, and he said, they were asking about the loss and how you felt going into the fourth. He said, well, I felt good 21-21. The next time I got the ball back, it was 35-21.
Thanks to yourself.
Yeah. Well, and the special teams fumble. But before we're going to dive into all sorts of stuff from this game here, and you're going to help us break down the film. But it's December, dude. We have 1 month left in the regular season, and the Vikings are 11-2, which, as the season has gone on, this team is better than most people thought. But do you think this team can win a Super Bowl?
I wouldn't say that they couldn't. I mean, if I had to give my possibility of teams, they would be in a team that could win. I mean, when you talk about what they can do defensively, and it's the chess match, and it's getting sacks and getting hits and turning the ball over, and it's so much fun for them. But at the same time, dude, when you put up 5 touchdowns in the weekend that the quarterback who's played here for the last half decade has been here and made a fortune, and everyone's going to be looking at you like, hey, just don't let him kick our ass, okay? Like, don't make this look too bad. And you outgunned the shit out of them. Like 5 touchdowns to none. Like you basically just were like, what guy? He was here? Huh. Sucks.
Yeah.
Now this guy comes out here just throwing strikes. And you got to love him. I love Sam because he's so chill. We've said this before on the O-line committee. When you're a chill quarterback, the rest of the O-line will love you because they follow your vibe. When you're super uptight and things are getting super, I don't know, then all of a sudden I look over and I'm like, I like this guy, right? Yeah. But then I look over and see Sam like getting hit and throwing a 400-yard touchdown. I'm like, guy's a rocket man. Nothing's going to bring him down. I mean, it's just so fun to watch. And then the receiving core, that's just it, whether it's everybody else or whether it's Jordan Addison and JJ that week. It's so fun to figure out, like, okay, how's the defense going to attack? Oh, that's stupid. I wouldn't do that. You're gonna let him throw it right to 18. Man, you're going to get roasted tomorrow. But it's which way do you want to die? Do you want us to throw it to Hawk and Naylor and Johnny Munt and Josh Oliver, or do you want me to find my two superstars? Like, how is this game going to go? And you can find out within the first 5 minutes. And I mean, I give a lot of credit to Atlanta. Their defense, they were getting after Sam a little bit. They hit him a couple times. They haven't really shown life like this all year. But then at the end of the game, there was just nothing left for them. And that's why I'm like, you're playing a team with a quarterback that was doing pretty well for the season. It's kind of up and down. But they've been playing really well lately. And the fact that KOC has the offense dialed in the way he does, and the fact that even sometimes the mistakes can be touchdowns, like the ball that gets hit in the air. It looks like it's end over end, and all of a sudden Jordan Addison's got to run back to it. The DB falls down. Like, you're like, what's going on out there? I'll take it. I'm not going to get upset about it, but it's just like everything's falling in their favor. And I think it's a lot because of Sam. Good karma equals good luck, and good things will happen. And it's fun to see. I mean, you miss a step with the left tackle. Darisaw goes down. All of a sudden, we got to trade for Cam Jordan or Cam Robinson. And all of a sudden, you're like, I don't know how this is going to go. He's starting to play well. Yeah. And honestly, I think it's a lot of when you see a boat rising with the tide, everybody gets lifted with that, right? Like Harbaugh used to say that a rising tide lifts all ships. But once you go from a crappy team to a really good team, and guys are like, hey, man, it's okay. We're going to the playoffs. Instantly, it's like, this guy's playing really, really well. But he's fitting in, right? He's adjusting. He sees the bars being set, and he's like, well, I don't want to get cut again. So I guess I'm just going to stay, and I'm going to work my ass off. And it's producing some really fun football.
Well, let's go. Let's dive into like 10 key plays here. By the way, you can find more from Booney and also Jeremiah Searles and myself on the O-line committee. So you guys, about a year and a half ago, started breaking down film and doing podcasts from an offensive line perspective, the O-line committee YouTube channel, if you want more of Alex. But let's go. I'm going to go full screen here for the YouTube audience.
Do it.
We're going to start with some bad. I just want to, because the game started kind of wonky for the Vikings. They were down early. So we'll start with bad, and then we will crescendo to all of the good stuff offensively and defensively. But we're balanced on this show. Yeah. So when the offensive line, lets a guy through, you can tell us what happened here. Absolutely. So I'll roll this. We got 2 angles on all these.
We always do. 2x2. We're going to shift into a 3x1. What are we doing? We're inviting the 5-man. I love it.
Oh, boy.
I remember watching this.
They only rushed 3 on this one. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's crazy, too, because with this motion, like right now, we clearly know that somebody's going to rush over Brian, right? Like they're not just going to not rush over Brian. But the motion is what brings it back in. Now we look like we have our 5 up. This right here is technically just an under. It could be called a 35. It's a 35 basically because there's 3 down linemen, and then there's technically the 5 would tell you that it's an under. So all of a sudden you're looking and you have a bubble to the front side. You have your 3 technique to the weak side. So this is like the classic Aaron Donald front. Why do they run this? Because 97 is their baby, right? He's their Aaron Donald. So the minute that they can get him on a 3 technique, which means they're probably going to get him in space, they love this. But the problem comes, and this is very rare, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way. Very rarely is the nose guard beating anybody, okay? Like, remember our nose guard? It was like Linval. Like, very rarely. But here's the problem. Go back a little bit. Randall does a nice job of trying to take a hit off, but the truth is, I think this is just too flat of a set. When he sets, he doesn't get enough depth.
Yeah. Bradbury, you talking about?
Yeah. Go back real quick. See how he goes straight lateral right out of the gate, but then you see Brendel's gets what we call depth. Depth is very important in the pass rush. Creates everybody on the same angle. See how like Brendel's getting back, but Bradbury kind of stayed on the line of scrimmage?
Yeah.
It's not good if you do that and then they swat your hands right away because you're going to end up leaning, right? Like you're being super aggressive. He probably knew it was coming. And so the minute he jumped at him, he just slapped his hands.
Brandel tries to step in and just kind of throw him off course. But
well, he does what any good old lineman would do. He just stands there and says, hey, listen, if I can get a piece on you, I'm going to.
Yeah.
Do I wish Sam would have gotten out of trouble a little bit more? Maybe. But I'm never really going to tell a quarterback that because I don't know what they're thinking. Like in the game, you'd look at him and be like, really? Just gonna stand there,
and then later he totally makes
right. But then later he like runs around like Superman, and you're like, where the hell has this been? This is like the very next play, and this is what started to baffle me a little bit. Was I was like, are we sure we're okay up front? Brian O'Neill, very rare,
very rare.
I mean, you're talking like one of the rarest. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. Go back. Is he at 10 yards? I'm doing anything I can to not give this to Brian.
Let's see. Let's go back to the wide so you can see if.
Dude, I think you're 9 yards. You're in what we call no man's land.
So once a quarterback hits essentially 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage, it's
over.
He's kind of on
I
his
can't
own,
protect
right?
you. I can't protect you because it becomes a hoop. It becomes the hoop drill. This guy's just going to run off the ball. See how he just runs?
He's 10 there. Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do. I can't block a guy 10 yards. Why? Because he runs a 4.2. Stupids. He's
so
fast.
Sam's got to kind of get off that mark a little quicker.
Absolutely. You know what they used to do back in the day? And you used to see this a lot. It's like they'd hit 10 and then they'd start climbing right now. And I would have no problem with that. If he just doesn't climb fast enough. He gets back there and he's probably staring at Jordan or JJ and all of a sudden he gets hit. But that's the problem. It's like right now,
climb.
Right, exactly. And then Brian's block doesn't look bad at all. It looks amazing. Brian does the right thing. He pushes them as far up the field as he can. But the problem becomes after a while, they're just going to beat us with speed around the edge. Yeah, like right there. It's look at all that green grass right over there to the right behind Bradbury and what's the right guy's name?
Dalton Reisner. Guy Dalton Reisner. Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say Ed Ingram, but I was like, nah.
I think what we're finding out, and Reisner hasn't been terrible, but like they probably need to. They might just need a new right guard.
They're gonna need a new right guard, bud.
Naga.
Work here. You're terrible.
So Falcons on offense here. Oh,
God! Somebody check his pulse.
Dallas Turner.
Oh my God! Oh, look at him getting up slowly.
Okay, what happens here? By the way, finally, the nice of Dallas Turner and undrafted rookie edge rusher Gabriel Murphy from UCLA was on IR until last week. Both those guys filling in for Pat Jones do a nice job.
Here we go. Off the edge. This looks like it's a play action, so we're going to sell this. That's fucking stupid. God.
Oh.
You know what happens when you let your quarterback get hit like this? Because you're trying to let a receiver block him? You get fired. Do you know why? Because that guy right there is making $50 million a year. And you want that receiver right there.
So 89, is that where we're 89 comes across. Here,
who is what? It's probably a what? A tight end.
He's a tight end, right?
You want him to block that first-round draft pick.
So he's coming around here, and his job is essentially to...
This is dumb. And this is how it used to be like old school. We used to slide, and they used to have the tight end stay out because it was like, to them, it was kind of a 1-and-1. You know what I'm saying? The tight end is really who screws up here. And go back. Is that the tight end, or is it...
I think it's a tight end.
No, it's not even him because I
Are we talking about Pitts down here?
That's Pitts. Yeah. I mean, I don't know why Kyle Pitts doesn't block him. I'm going to say that I'm not going to for sure say that it's 89's fault. I'm going to say that it's more Kyle Pitts' fault.
Well, he's got Bynum coming up.
Yeah, but listen, that wouldn't be drawn up like that. Go back. Never would they be like, hey, you take this outside guy. Why? Because you just left a lane on the inside open. What have I told you about lanes on the inside? I'm not allowed to let someone run through the A gap. Right. Tackle's not allowed to let somebody run through the B gap. You think that tight end's allowed to let somebody run through that C gap? The most important thing is that these gaps from the outside of the tight end to the outside of the tight end are always closed. No matter what. I don't care if I'm supposed to let you through. There's a good chance I'm not. Because you're going to ruin a play. We would never tell our tight end, hey, you block out. Because there's a good chance there's nobody out there to block. This is a sight adjustment. Like, hey, Bynum walks up, so then all of a sudden the guy going in motion, I don't know his name, then he would go more outside. See how you keep pushing all the trouble outside. That way Kirk has somewhere to roll out to. That's what I'm saying. Like, I certainly wouldn't be like, hey, let's create a void right here where this kid who ran a 4.2 last 6 months, let him run through right here and hit $50 million. Tell us what it feels like. That sounds smart.
Poor Kirko.
He's
sitting back there. He's got...
You could tell he's in the huddle.
Achilles. He's 36.
Guys, I'm barely mobile. Let me get hit for him. Dude, he doesn't move from his spot. Am I the only one that notices that? Like
apparently he's only scrambled 3 times all year.
Dude,
is what
he
they said
doesn't
on the broadcast.
move. And we said that earlier in the year that you can never trust somebody off a torn Achilles. Why? Because it's your Achilles. It is like the smallest muscle in your body that has the most importance, other than your heart. Like it's insane. And they're like, yeah, you want $400 million? Yeah, we got it. Is he challenging us not to pay him? Dude, he like bullied them into paying him. Love this.
By the way, Blake Cashman.
Crushing.
So the Vikings are 10-0 when Blake Cashman plays,
Eden
and they're
Prairie boy.
allowing a league best 17 points per game, or might be second behind the Chargers. But
Pause it.
there's something about Cashman.
Oh yeah, we love Cashman. He's a great dude, and his EP boy. Pause it. This is. Listen, you got beat. I don't care if Cashman's playing really good. You can never lose to him in the pro game. Why? Because he's a linebacker, and they don't rush the quarterback. You can't let this dude come all the way around. And this is a great job, right? Keep going.
Oh, it's like
Right there.
he's twisting around two. Different.
Exactly. And what happens is this right guard, for some reason, I don't know, not gonna work here, forgot to tell his friends that his partner was going all the way across the line. And listen, the minute that 51 takes that step, I am coming down. So no, in. Remember, I'm going in. Right, so if I say out, the center's not thinking I'm coming to him. He thinks I'm going. Try see words have meanings. I tell the rookies they have meanings. Sometimes we can't just say random things. But right here, see how he doesn't really do anything. He tries to grab his arm. He's like, come here, I'll hold you. Okay, well, don't forget, this guy's looping around. And sometimes if they're young, it's because they think they're dropping. But see how he's taking these steps right there? He's trying to widen the guard so that this twist can hit home. Because if he goes right now, that guard doesn't even have to move. That nose tackle is going to come right to him. Grenard's going to come to the center. And then Cashman's going to end up running right into the left guard. But since he starts taking a couple steps out, number one, the chaos has already begun, right? So we've got people blocking people, and now this guy's going back. Look, even the center's looking like, wait a minute, who are you blocking? Go back. They're like having a conversation. He's like, Phil, why are you here?
Bob.
Oh, look at him. He's like talking through him. What are you doing? Why are you here? He's like, oh, 51 dropped.
Another thing, a sneaky signing by the Vikings too. So Jihad Ward, kind of a journeyman. Technically, he's been an edge rusher for his career. Just like a big kind of tweener defensive line edge guy. He was a Giant, I believe, for a few years. And his job basically is this, like the entire season.
Yeah.
Yes, he's rushing the passer, but he's in there to get into, on a twist, to get into the offensive linemen so that he's like freeing up Cashman and Grenard and Van Ginkel to get theirs, right?
His job isn't to get the sack. His job is to make sure his friends get theirs. You'll be rewarded with gold. Don't worry. Here's what I hate. Go back. When I look up and see this D-line, I'm irritated because of the numbers. I'm so irritated. Everybody's in a 50 or a 40. Because so like walking up, I would have been like, hey, they're in Big Penny, Little Penny. I don't know what this is. These are all linebackers. And then you're like, wait a minute. No. These are all defensive ends. And one linebacker, right? Like you're like, oh my God, this is so maddening at times. The numbers drive me nuts. And I know you guys don't understand that. It's because for 30 some years, it had to be a 90 number.
Yeah, it's just a lot more work.
But it messes with your brain. It'd be like if ketchup were blue. You'd be like, why is it blue? It's stupid. It should be red. It should wear 90 numbers. Yeah. This play.
This is the one you're talking about before.
There's so many people getting cut this week from the Falcons for being so lazy. Here we go. Way to die a slow death. I'll take that.
Yeah, Reisner gets walked back a little bit there.
I think it's great. I actually had one of the exact same blocks in the first game in that stadium against Mike Daniels. It's a total win, dude. I mean, those guys get paid a lot of money. And he takes a good set. I don't like the hopping, and
that's a long developing play too. I mean,
it's not like Sam's under pressure like that. I mean, I guess at times he doesn't move out of there, and I mean, I guess it is a long developing play, so he's probably like, well, we're good. But at the same time, if he wants to move, he's got to move off his spot. Like
he can move.
There's not much Dalton can do. Like he's just accepting this bull rush, and I'm sure he's like, hey man, throw this ball.
Throw it.
But between that safety and that corner's lazy ass effort right there, cut him.
Yeah, well, it ain't the first. It ain't the first in this game, and it wasn't the last.
No, it certainly wasn't. And a little bit of heat from the left too.
That ball does. I mean, that ball does get altered, obviously.
Oh, for sure.
And the DBs lose sight of it.
But
Addison's been great at just like adjusting on the fly throughout his career.
Well, he's a receiver, and he's staring at the ball, and he saw it got hit. And he's like, oh, I'm just going to come back this way. I mean, dude, I don't know.
We've seen enough Kirk. That's the Kirk interception.
Oh, I can't.
Let's go back to Vikings offense here.
Hit me with something sexy.
All right, let's go. Let's watch. Oh, this is a great throw here. Let's check this out, dude. Look at that pocket too. Oh. The Hawk didn't even get involved until the second half in this game because
I was going to say, dude. I mean, this game was not, and that's why I said you're going to know early what kind of game this is. If he throws it to T.J. Hawkinson early, well, they're covering Justin, right? But if he throws it to J.J. and Jordan, you forget at times that this guy's on the team. And when he catches a ball, I'm like, God, he's Mr. Reliable, isn't he? Like he's just the fun little. I'm going to throw it to him and see what happens. He's not so much Kittle-esque where like he laughs about it and he's like having fun getting mauled all day. But dude, he catches anything. And look at this ball. He throws this when he's on the opposite hash. He catches it on the opposing hash. There's three guys right there. There's three guys.
There's a lot of quarterbacks, maybe even Darnold earlier in his career, that I think they panic when the pocket gets like this. Like this is a win for the offensive line to me.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
This is a clean pocket, especially the depth that these guys are holding for Darnold. But like it's kind of closing in and you're like waiting for Hawk to clear out so you can hit him over here. And a lot of quarterbacks I feel like don't stick with this throw in this pocket. But he does.
I don't know that many quarterbacks trust that throw. Go back. Look at 55, dude. He's kind of got Kirk did to rights here. Like he's kind of in the middle right here. See how he's right there? That's why when I saw this, I go, man, that's a ballsy throw. Because if he drifts at all to the left, that ball's going the other way. Like, look, he throws this when he's technically throwing it 255. He's just moving him with his eyes.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that.
Wow.
Throw a strike, young man. What do you think it is up to now? 45 million a year?
That is.
He's probably looking
over
at
40, man.
He's probably looking at 42.5 million a year right now. No joke. Over the next 6 years.
Well,
years.
the franchise tag is 41. So I gotta think if you're his agent,
42.
all right, well,
it's 42.
42.
So you only go up one. You don't get crazy on me because you say 50. Someone's gonna go, all right, greed ball. This one.
Well, wait,
this right here.
It was 45 before we ran this play. So now it's
50.
100. Yeah.
Dude, we this is a great play, and there it is again. There's that lazy effort. I don't know how to guard him, coach. I think plays like this are so fun to watch, and at the same time, incredible because the fact that pressure comes up the middle and he gets away from it so seamlessly, like he runs into his left tackle. He's like, I don't want to go that way. I want to go this way. Like, and we'll talk about it from the back end, but the throw that he makes on the run, what is it, 50 yards, 45 yards?
Also, okay, so just let me pause it real quick as he's
50.
So the first part of it is like, don't get sacked. And then immediately. And then the second part is, can you escape and create something off this play? So don't get sacked. Here we go. Okay, now we're going to create something. I feel like, again, most quarterbacks, option one is, well, just go run for like 10 yards. Just go like run out of bounds over here, get the first down. Or like you could hit wide open guy underneath for a 10 or 15 yard chunk and everybody would still be like, wow, what a play. No, not Sam Darnold.
Not this hunter, buddy.
One
he is
leg
a hunter.
50 yards.
Dude, Jay had said this weeks ago, and he was like, dude, he loves to hunt downfield, and he does, because you're right. Check this out. This blitz right here used to be one of my most favorite. Very rarely does it get run. It's called Hey Diddle Diddle 3 up the middle. And what they normally do is they'll bring 44 and 55, and the newest version is they could twist, but then what they would do is send number 3 right through the middle. Not initially, they would send 3, right? So you would never see it coming. Now you're really not going to see it coming because it's the guy off the edge that's going to end up coming in.
It's 31, right?
Yep, and it can very rarely can it get picked up. It can only get picked up if someone drops out and somebody ends up becoming free because they're technically rushing more than we can. See how Reisner's free? Go back real quick. The defensive end to the right drops way out, which forces Brian to take over the 3 technique. So Dalton just said, hey, he's mine. And as soon as 17 drops, Brian takes the 3 technique. But Dalton's kind of caught in a weird scenario where he's already setting out and he's like, I don't know where to go. And he kind of gets caught back in the middle. See right here, Brian's like in. So Dalton's like, well, I'm already out here. Shoot, this is going to take me a second. So by the time he comes back in, look, the guy's already there.
Yeah.
Like, that's how fast these blitzes happen. And he's the extra rusher. Nobody can technically block him. So it's on Sam to know, hey, listen, if all these guys come, I got to be hot. Now, here's one of them. There is no hot route in this. There's no hot route.
Right.
They're all kind of going downfield. And so that's
to kind
why.
of to decipher this from like, just let me ask you a dumb fan question. So basically, so O'Neal has to pay attention off the snap to 17, right?
Mm-hmm.
Reisner then is paying attention here.
Mm-hmm.
CJ Ham is, because
Cross
these are
key.
linebackers, not edges, right? So CJ Ham is looking at 55.
Yeah, we call that a cross key because he's going across the ball to block. And so it must have it probably originally started with a Rocco to the right to 55. But see how we have 4 guys over here? This is our overloaded side. No matter what, we would want to slide this way because that looks like it's got the most pressure. And the safety is back to the right. See that safety off the ball right there, number 3? He's telling us they can't be coming this way because if they were, he'd be up more. So the safety must be up to the left. So we're instantly going to go loco here.
So
Ham does a
Bradbury
great
slides
job.
left. Yeah.
Ham does a great job of stepping up in here. It's just the fact that this guy comes so fast. And the problem becomes, see right there, 15, holding Hawkinson? Yeah. He's technically Cam's guy. So he doesn't know, is he holding up Hawk or is he not rushing? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's kind of caught in the world because if he'd have known right away, he'd have been telling Bradbury to get his ass in there, but he didn't know. And that's why this ends up being a great play. Now, Sam makes it look super easy because pressure up the middle, hardest thing to get away from. And you're right. He could have thrown it right there to Jalen Naylor, been like, get me my first down. But he said, I want $45 million. Don't make it 42. Make it 45.5. And don't forget the $500,000 at the end, okay? Mommy wants a nice little toy.
So this can be summed up as the Falcons drew up a really good blitz that really like, this is a winning defensive
look at that.
play.
Should have crushed it. Should have been done.
Sam Darnold, way more athletic than people think, does this.
I'm good.
Can I give some credit to Garrett Bradbury, who stays behind the line of scrimmage and doesn't get, because can you imagine this getting called back because Bradbury was 5 yards past the line of scrimmage? Or illegal man downfield.
Could you imagine if Sam went to them earlier in the year and was like, listen, I'm not really going to run it, okay? Because those are conversations that we have. Like, hey, when you first get there, like something like this would have came up in practice, and I probably would have been like, hey, this scenario, you running, you throwing. And he goes, I'm throwing. You heard me. I'm a hunter. I hunt downfield. All right, cool. Then I know to stay at the line of scrimmage always. Like, these are questions that get asked a lot. Like, we got to know who you are, and you got to know what we do. And at the same time, if you don't want to do something, tell us, and we'll keep you from doing it always. Like, that's our job.
So here's another one. He's just throwing bombs down the field.
Bombs. Look at this. Getting a little hit.
It's kind of muddy.
God.
It's a little muddy.
Dude, the precision on this ball. And if you go back to the wide, he throws this ball. Like, it's almost like he's like, you know what? We're man coverage. I'm doing it. Look, right here. Dude.
And
nobody's looking for the ball. He's like, I'm going to throw that 50-50 ball. Why? Because I know my guys will make plays. And where is everybody right now? There's 3 guys standing over 18. I got to throw it to my wide receiver number 2 or else we don't even have a football team. Like, I got to make these guys who they are, right? I got to force this issue. I need to let you try and make a play down the field. And this is a perfect ball. Perfect strike under a little bit of pressure. Dude.
But you guys pointed this out on O-line committee. So Justin Jefferson's up here, and you got some safety help over the top.
Hell, that guy's going to go help him too.
But then you got this. Watch this safety at the top of the defense here. He starts kind of like left hash, and he winds up. Just watch his path, because Jefferson.
Yeah, it ends up being a triangle.
Let's
over
just
him.
go
They're
over
all afraid
here.
Of him.
Shade. Oh, the ball's coming back this way.
Dude, it's Sam realizing that too, because that safety's way too far over there. He should be in the middle of the field. You are cover 1 all the way. And what happened? I see 18 all over here by himself, and I can't let him do that. So I'm going to start to drift to the right. Sam takes a peek at 18, helps push that safety over there. Right there. See that quick peek? Go back. The minute that he jetted his eyes over there, you can kind of see this black helmet at the bottom start to fade over quickly. And you're like, oh, God, this is when he's doing it. He's smart. Right there. Looking outside, everyone's like, gone. We're gone over there. Throw it to the right. I'm going to look left and throw it right.
Amazing. I got one more play for you here, and this last play is presented by our friends at Woodhouse Spas. So here's an idea for you, Booney. All right, this is an idea for you and the audience, and it's a note to myself too. Gift giving season. All right, if your wife, your mom, someone in your life, if you're trying to think of the perfect gift idea, why not? We had a Purple Daily listener a couple days ago say, "Hey, I went to WoodhouseSpas.com." And I got my wife a $500 gift card so she can take advantage of literally whatever she wants at Woodhouse Spas. 70-plus spa services, massages, body treatments, nails, facials, whatever it is. Woodhouse Spas, locally owned in Maple Grove, Woodbury, and Rosedale Center. And you can get gift cards at WoodhouseSpas.com or just by walking into one of those 3 locations. WoodhouseSpas.com. Check them out. Appreciate them. Powering Purple Daily here during the holidays.
Sounds amazing.
Let's go. Maybe you and I could do a little couples date at Woodhouse Spas.
Easy.
Couples. Yeah.
I can't be seen walking into those places.
A couple of robes.
Tarnish my image.
All right, let's get one more here just for fun.
Is this the last one? Where the little whoop. Dude, I swear to God, it's like a Thursday practice out there, isn't it? Everybody's so afraid of 18 that everybody else is just cooking.
Crazy.
Here we go. Let's see what we're doing up front. We're in our little under. Oh, clean pocket. Oh, I like it.
Nice job.
Look at this, huh? Got a little under front. Very rare to not see, to kind of see it like this. I guess you could call this. I mean, this is kind of an overload, but that's a 5-0. I would have called it an under. My coach would have been livid.
Reisner gets to put a shoulder pad in someone's ribs here, doesn't he? Nice little.
He tries. Go back. What I love is the twist on the left. 55 walks up, 0 over there. You know you're smelling trouble, right? They also got our big, heavy rush over there. Let's see that punch right there? That initial punch right there. And this is what we talk about in the gym all the time. And all the young guys hear me say this, and I am very adamant about this. But the minute you realize that it's a twist, because you're not going to know right away, okay? Congratulations, you're like the rest of us. The minute you see him push out like that, Brandel does a great job of striking him. And the minute he strikes him, it doesn't allow him to get into cam. If he penetrates, the penetrator is the one that starts all of this, and that's 55. He's going to try and penetrate the line. He's going to try and cause a break in the dam so that these two start to freak out, and then 0 is going to come twisting in. The problem is we get a strike on the penetrator, we shut everything down. Doesn't matter. You can loop as far in as you want. I'm just going to follow you around. Like, it's a great job, a great throw. If you can continue to do this, put up 5 touchdowns. Play these teams really, really tough. What I don't like is all the hits and all the sacks, especially from a team that didn't really have a lot of them all year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like sometimes dumb things show up, and everyone's looking around like, quarterback just threw like 400 yards and 5 touchdowns, yet he ate like 4 sacks. Somebody explain that to me. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
My last take for you on this, for Darnold, I told Judd this yesterday. He's got a little, like you said, you talk about his calm, sort of chill demeanor. He's got some Eli Manning, and I mean that in a good way, where like Eli would like shipwreck games, or he'd lead the league in interceptions. But you know what, guys? It's playoff time, or it's time for a big game, and he doesn't like get paralyzed by a mistake he made last week or the 20 interceptions he threw.
Yeah,
he just hunts down the field. He's chill. He's got that Eli face, that bedhead.
Yep.
There's their personalities very just, you can get along with them. They're not going to ruffle the feathers of anyone in the locker room, really.
That's a great comparison. I mean, I never really thought about that, but I've played Eli a couple times, and it was the same. Like, you see him, and you're like, "That's it? That's all he's got?" Like,
yeah.
You're expecting him to be like a mountain of a man. He's a Manning, and all of a sudden you're like, "That's it." But then you see him throw a ball, and you're like, "Oh my God, yep, that's it. That's the one." Like, the way he's playing right now is unreal. And I said this yesterday on our show, but KOC needs a pay raise, man. And I know he's due for one, but what he's doing is showing that he can just work with anybody. I can work with anybody. I can work with guys like Kirk Cousins. I can work with guys like Sam Darnold. I'm going to be working with a guy named JJ McCarthy next. Like, it doesn't matter who it is. Just put him in my room, and we're going to get along, and I'm going to see what he does well, and I'm going to start putting things out there What also helps us? The fact that two of those guys out there are insane right now. So it's really forcing defense. Like when you have one guy, defense is kind of neutral, right? Like we can shut one guy down. We got an extra guy out here if we ever need him. You got two guys, we ain't got two extra guys. Like eventually we're either going to have to get home or the coverage is going to have to be on. And if it's not, he's going to throw 400 yards and 5 touchdowns like it's nothing. And you're like, wow, they're starting to look really good. They're starting to come together. And we haven't even really inserted the run game that much, right? Like if we need to start leaning on the run game to help us, because that's what you're going to need in the playoffs too, is that run game. You're going to need to beat on some people. You're going to need to show them that you're tough, because you can't just throw it 65 times in the playoffs. That's stupid, because you're playing really good teams. So you're going to play really good D-lines. They're going to be really, really smart. You want to be able to throwing everything at them. And that's the one thing I always have faith in KOC about. Offense is going to move around. People are going to be shifting, moving. It's never going to look the same kind of twice. And Mo, by the way, when you realize what it is, 18's all by himself down the field, and I'm just going to huck him to him.
Two touchdowns for 18. His first in like 2 months, which is crazy.
That's
the way
another
teams
thing.
been
like,
playing him.
They were making a big deal about that. Like, well, it's his first touchdown in 7 games, and I'm the only one like standing back like, I think they won all 7 of those games, but
They pretty much have, yeah.
I'm also pretty sure that it's because half the defense was staring at him, and so we let everybody else cook. Like Johnny Munt was getting touchdowns, right? Like everyone was eating. That's a teammate. That's a selfless teammate, by the way. It's why JJ is probably my number 1 receiver, and I've never even played with the guy. Because look what's going on in Philly right now. Just take a second.
Oh my gosh.
Just take a second. 2 comparable teams, right? One likes to run the ball. One likes to throw the ball. One comes out and goes, well, they're mad because one's not throwing it to 11. And all of a sudden, I guarantee you that whole team was like, how dare you do that? How dare you do that?
Haven't lost in 2.5 months. Let's
And
raise a
now-
stink in the media about the way
now
we're winning.
in Philly? Oh. Now, who's going to get it, though? Other than Graham, because he's probably going to get cut. Like, you can't say shit like that. That was dumb. That was dumber than dumb. Yeah. But who else is going to get it now? 11. From the fans, because they're going to be like, you really bitching right now because you're not getting the ball and we're winning. You for real, like you just put so many people's business on the street. You don't ever hear about that here. You don't ever hear about anything here, because I feel like if you were to complain, KOC would be like,
you know, the only thing all year was like Jordan Addison with his free 3 hashtag.
Yeah, that got put down quick, didn't it?
And KOC has a conversation with him. And then, by the way, like they got him the ball more in the coming weeks, and it helped the team win, and everything's fine now. So
it's
it out.
It's how football goes, dude.
There he is, the Rhino, Alex Boone.
So close to playoffs. Oh, so excited.
Injected, dude. You can find more of him, O-Line Committee YouTube channel and podcast.
December, January football, there is nothing more painful, more amazing to watch, more worth it in your life. So excited.
This is Alex's alarm every morning right here.
Every morning, dude. This morning, man. That was a ding. When that base hit, I was not up.
Well, the audience didn't know that
you
were,
knew. That's
20
a ding.
minutes late for this
late.
podcast. That's
It
fine.
was.
That's okay. I overslept 2 weeks ago. It happens. All right, dude. We'll talk to you next week. Trenches with our guy, Alex Boone. This is Purple Daily. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl at some point before we die. Come on, guys.